I'm sitting in the doctor's office.
Okay.
And he's telling me that he's involved with the project of, and I think it was something that was in the news several months ago, but it's the whatever games where, let's just say you could dope, you could inject, you could do whatever you wanted, and let's see if those records would fall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's not sponsoring it or anything, but he checks the hearts and the health of the athletes that are in it.
Yeah.
And so he says to me, as I sit in his office, he goes, I go, well, how big a performance enhancing and whatever, like what's starting to come out the other end? Because we want to know. And he said, well, we just set the 50-meter freestyle swimming event. The guy who's in the program, which means doping, juicing, whatever, all the stuff we talked about.
It's not a woman?
No.
I thought
Ma'am.
same. I thought they're the same. Wait.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good point. Simone Biles said they're the same. But turns out it's a dude. Come on. Luck of the draw. And the enhanced games. Yeah. Set for Las Vegas, 2026. Okay, so this doctor, the doctor who's in charge of the program, who's in the program, who meets with all these athletes and deals with all this, he sits behind his desk and he goes, this guy just beat the world freestyle record by 2 seconds in the 50-meter. And I go, I don't think so. And he goes, yeah. And I go, 2 seconds. He goes, yeah. I go, that's like 18 feet in the pool. I said, 0.2 seconds. He goes, nah, I think it's 2 seconds. I go, that's 0.2. And he goes, now to his credit, he's a smart guy. So he went, you know what? Let me check that out.
Right.
And I said, yeah, go check it out.
That's the way I go through life, like him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Now, I'm the guy who never swam competitively and have no idea what times are in swimming pools. And I have no idea what this enhanced games thing is doing. And maybe the guy's juicing, maybe it was a big deal. But I just go, broke the world record? Yeah. For a sprint, 50 yards, sprint. Yeah. 2 seconds is too much. It's got to be point. You're remembering 2, but you just put the decimal in the wrong place. So he beat it by 0.2, which is beating the world record. And also, I'm keeping in mind that this guy's probably a top 10 guy, but not number 2 in the world. They're not the former record holder. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do all those calcs. I tell him 0.2. And then he checks on and tells me I'm right. Now, what do I know about swimming? What do I know about the enhanced games? What do I know about any of it? So I don't know anything. I have clarity.
Is the clarity genetic and having been a carpenter where you learn to judge your distances and fractions
you can
and things?
Apply it to anything. You just sit and listen.
No, hold on.
Yes.
So do you think you have a natural ability that lets you sort of see things with your hypervigilance, your low heart rate, all that stuff sets you up to be able to do that calculation, or is it the training in carpentry, or both?
The training in the carpentry is sort of the exercise that keeps sort of the logical blood flowing all the time because everything's just sort of
it's like it keeps relations intact, true.
Huh?
The relation between a short distance and a far distance. I mean, these are true for you. They're absolutely clear.
Yes. Yes.
And it gets more and more.
It's a
granular.
Yeah. But not involving yourself into too many of these equations, which people do. They get much too involved, and then they have to start defending.
Defensive. Again, defensive. You and I have not really emphasized defensiveness over the years, but I'm beginning to think that's how they fuck up relationships. It's how they fuck up learning. It's how they fuck up clarity.
Yes.
It's how they do stupid shit because they don't take in information. They're defensive.
Yeah.
It's really a serious problem. And as you and I have been talking a little bit about shame and how shame is a real problem because it motivates people to sort of avoid, but really it generates defensiveness.
Yes.
And that needs to be dealt with force. I'm sorry. Because for everybody's good, including the people that are defensive.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem to be settling down on its own.
No, but there's a lot of people out there that are very defensive, and I realize maybe they should be because they don't really possess any skills or knowledge or anything. We circle back to it a lot, but having a baseline of being competent,
Right.
even if you're just a horseshoer or something, but
Right.
really understanding that business, you know what I mean? There is a baseline there that gives you a sort of a thing,
Yeah.
and then if you can diversify, if you can play concert level piano and be a mixed martial artist, that's going to give you a woo, that gives you a base, right? And we kind of understand it when we talk about Renaissance men and we sort of go, people say like all the time, they'll go, that guy is Harvard, he has a Harvard law degree and he built his own log cabin. We'll do this weird diversity thing,
Yeah.
where we'll go, this guy's a mixed martial artist and he grows his own vegetables. We can just we like the span,
Yeah.
and we imagine there's stuff in between, and so we kind of recognize it as a sort of Leonardo da Vinci or sort of way, or look, Dos Equis was a whole campaign about the most interesting man in the world. It was not he sat around and watched TV. It says he fucking did a bunch of diverse things.
And we talked to that guy.
I did. He was a pussy.
And he was a little Jewish guy.
He was a pussy-whipped, hen-pecked little puss who sat there with his fucking wife who basically told him what to say and what not to say, which was comical. Isn't that comical?
Yes, it was so funny.
But they don't, one day he's cliff diving, the next day he's running with the bulls,
Yeah.
the next day he solved an equation. You know what I mean?
But getting back to defensiveness, to me that dovetails into something you said the other day to me, which it's time for some hash settling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that in any kind of offensive or aggressive way. It's just the hash got to be settled.
Well, I think the problem is a lot of it is the gatekeepers, the sort of politicians, teachers, and stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times a woman has said to me, you can't talk to somebody that way.
Right.
And I go, I just told them they fucked up the dates on the fucking live shows, but you can't say that. It's like, I'm like, oh, well, what am I allowed to say inside of my own building? You know what I mean? Like, I've had women tell me, don't watch it. You can't talk to your daughter that way. It's like, okay, I'm going to be fine. You should worry about her and how she's going to turn out because no one's able to tell her things in a realistic way. You know what I mean? It's like a weird obsession of like how I'm being spoke to like all the time. You go through life and you're obsessed. And by the way, the people that have it the worst are fat black women. They're like, you can't come at me that way. You can't talk to me that way. Somebody at a fucking Southwest airline just said, you got to pay because your bag's more than 50 pounds. And they fucking start throwing their hands. It's like, okay, someone's going to have to tell that person that, yes, they can be spoke to. When the officer says roll down your window, you don't tell them to fuck off. You roll the window down. That's how it works.
I'm realizing.
People tell you what to do all the fucking time. It's not because they think you're stupid or they're disrespecting you.
Instagram and X has been sending me, I just realized, a rash of young, hot, drunk chicks arrested and the way they talk to the officers.
Right.
It's like, whoa.
Right.
Whoa. Wow. And not even that drunk. Like, I understand if they're really wasted or something, but oh my God. It's sort of, it's startling.
Yes. Listen, everyone, be fine with people telling you what to do.
But no one has told her before, hey, because she, just walks through life as a celebrity.
It's baked into everyone under 40 now. They just come right back with, here's why. Listen, it's you who shall suffer, young person who does not accept any input.
So let's be clear about it. Do not start with an explanation. Start with listening.
There could be an explanation.
There might be.
And I oftentimes have explanations. I always have an explanation because I'm never guilty, Drew. No, I just mean I get a lot of, did you give so-and-so the so-and-so? And I'll go, I was out working all weekend in, Portland. I came back and then I gave it to him, like weird, but I'm not going to eat it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
If somebody goes, why didn't you mow the lawn on Saturday? And I was doing 6 shows in the Pacific Northwest, and I'll go, I was doing 6 shows in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and I'll mow the lawn on Monday.
Yeah.
But that's not me making excuses. That's sort of an accounting of my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And I will definitely do that if, in fact, it's kind of a weird thing. Look, here's the deal. I am as defensive as the next person, as the average piece of shit 27-year-old person in Los Angeles. I'm as defensive. But my defense has an actual explanation. Yours may too, but remember when I told one of my guys here when we're ordering Chick-fil-A, this is my favorite story. By the way, all I do is work with these people, and they just tell me things. They have these weird things. I did my best. I don't, it's like a weird, it's like a weird thing where I go, "You're late," and they go, "Yeah, I know. I had to find a place to park." I go, "Yeah, I know." Everyone what do you think I do? Jump out of my car and leave it rolling? just fucking ghost ride it into the fucking burb? I find places to park as well, and then I get out of my car and then I walk to where I work. But okay, anyway, you had to find a place to park. Okay, it's a lot of that. But the greatest was the guy in the next office when we're going they go to Leno's, watch a premiere. We'd sit in the Tonight Show set he had set up in his warehouse and watch my car dock. When we plan a night to go to Leno's. And so we embarrassed one night because we told Leno loves Chick-fil-A. And we told Leno we're going to show up with Chick-fil-A and it was like out of a movie, like out of a sitcom. We showed up. He has a kitchen set up in his shop to another building. And everyone put the stuff down and everyone took their burgers out and was like eating their burgers. And and Leno looked into the bag and looked a little forlorn, and everyone's eating their sandwich. And he went, did you guys get a sandwich for me? And we're like, oh yeah, it's in the bag. We got a bunch of sandwiches, And he goes, oh, I don't see one here. And we're all just eating our sandwich. And he goes, I don't think you got me a sandwich. And we were at a shop to watch the movie and everything. And we're like, oh man, what is? Well, Gabe in the other shop, I said, let's just order Chick-fil-A. And he's like, who's going? I go, well, me and Mike and Nate are going, to and we're going to Leno's for his guys are going to be there. So let's get some Chick-fil-A. We're going to watch this movie. And he just ordered Mike a Chick-fil-A, me a Chick-fil-A, and Nate a Chick-fil-A, and then watch us. His plan was we're going to take it to Leno's and then eat it in front of him at 6:30. So at a certain point, I said, Gabe, why didn't you, when you were ordering it, we're going to Leno with his guys, and we're going to eat Chick-fil-A, and then we're going to watch the movie at 6 o'clock. But why didn't you ask if it was Leno? And he was like, I don't know. Leno didn't get his order in, kind of thing. And I was like, no, we're just going to order Chick-fil-A and eat it at Leno's. And we had 3 burgers. That didn't seem, 3 Chick-fil-A burgers. That seemed like enough for us going over there. And he goes, it was raining outside. And I said, it was raining outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go, well, I don't, what's that? You called it into Chick-fil-A. I don't know. What's the weather have to do with it? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just saying. He's just like, I'm saying stuff.
But that's defensiveness. Defensiveness.
Yeah, well, I'd say once you get to the weather,
maybe we ought to call it evasiveness.
Also, it's not like I said, look, if the sky's clear, I'm going to take my dirigible over to Leno's shop. Yes, it's raining. We're going to get in a car, and then we'll shut the doors, and then we'll drive with these things called windshield wipers, and then we'll go to Chick-fil-A, and then we'll get the food. I don't know if it's raining inside of Chick-fil-A. I imagine it's dry. Anyway, it was awesome.